Outside Tobruk, a munitions graveyard. The remnants of tons and tons of rockets, grenades and mortars litter the landscape, destroyed by the officer in charge of this Libyan arms depot who was loyal to Gaddafi. He blew up the bunkers before fleeing to Tripoli. The explosions lasted for 2 days and killed one civilian, according to locals. This unexploded ordnance is just the kind of ammunition the frontline fighters are crying out for to try and push Gaddafi's forces back further west. But most of the ammunition and weaponry here has been rendered useless. However, down in this bunker, some of it is still intact and could be used. Anti-aircraft artillery and tank shells are scattered across the floor, with boxes of ammunition stacked to the ceiling. Arms Gaddafi's men didn't want falling into enemy hands. The Egyptian border lies around 140 kilometres from here. The Eastern Highway is an ideal route to bring foreign arms into the country. One fighter had told Al Jazeera Egyptian and US Special Forces were training them on more sophisticated weaponry. We asked the local anti-government general if he knew of any weapons shipment.
Would you be told if they were coming through, or would they just come through?
Come through here, I will be known, because I am the commander of this garrison here in Tobruk. But I never hear about that, but I hope in the future.
They must have stockpiles of weapons, of ammunitions in Egypt that could be very useful for you.
Yes, it is useful, but until now we have nothing from them. But I think we need from America and from France and from Great Britain.
This truckload of rocket launchers was heading west down that route, all the way to Benghazi. The driver didn't want us to film, nor would he say where they'd come from. Even after 3 weeks of coalition airstrikes, this is still not a level playing field. The anti-government forces have only a small number of tanks and armoured vehicles and limited weaponry, relying mostly on anti-aircraft guns, RPGs and machine guns. Gaddafi's forces boast thousands of tanks, reconnaissance vehicles and armoured personnel carriers. NATO believes it has taken out 30% of his weapons, but the size and range of the government's military hardware still dwarfs the opposition's. The Egyptian government told us on Thursday that it had not armed or trained the anti-government forces. It was not taking sides. The US also denied setting up training camps. On the subject of arms, it's still making its mind up.
I think the Secretary made it clear what his preference is with regards to that if that is the course of action that the alliance chooses, the coalition chooses to pursue, that it be done by others.
Back in eastern Libya, those picking through the rubble want to know when that decision will finally be made, as they know they can't win a ground offensive with Gaddafi's discarded military leftovers. Sue Turton, Al Jazeera, Tobruk.